Well, hey everyone, it's Alvaro. I am here with my good friend Rob, better known as DJ Blindvision, Rob Gonzalez, and also known as Peluca for those who really know him from back in the day. Rob and I go back many years here, the hometown of Elizabeth, New Jersey, where he was part of the whole scene of DJing and partying in the hometown. And I just wanted to take this moment to sit with him, catch up with him. It's very interesting for me to have this opportunity to talk to him about, just where he is in his life right now, issues that him and I love discussing, talking about music, the scene. Rob's situation is a little bit different than everybody else's in the fact that he is visually impaired, and he's an inspiration because he's still DJing, and that's one thing that I wanted to highlight is the courage, the love, the passion that he has for this music, and also in a way a sense of the one thing that keeps him going, dealing with a lot of issues, and just talking about how it is that his life is right now, currently being an active DJ. As I know you wanted to get even more actively, but there are some things that you're still doing that you want to make people aware of, because right now you're involved in doing a fundraiser, right, in New Jersey. We'll talk a little bit about that in a little bit, but I just want our audience to get a different perspective, to understand you a little bit, most importantly to understand the movement, the cause, your situation, that I personally find very inspirational. A lot of DJs out there kind of lose their passion, their love, and you're someone that has always stayed true to the music that you love and the art form of DJing. So give us a little bit of a background, Rob, as far as how you get here, what are some of your inspirations, what put you in that lane of loving music and eventually becoming a DJ here.
Well, let me see. With DJing, I started. It all started when I moved here in '87. I moved here from New Orleans, Louisiana, in '87, and I met a couple of guys, Chris and Paul Rodriguez, two brothers. We became good friends, and before you know it, we went to a party one time, the Cuban Festival, Elizabeth Avenue in Elizabeth, back in the late '80s, as you remember.
Yeah, sure. Yep.
Melly Mel used to do this thing at the Mini Mall.
Yep.
Part of the Mini Mall.
Yep.
Disco Express was actually playing that night.
Yep.
Was it Jesus, Santi?
Yep. Yep.
You were actually DJing that night.
Yep.
You were actually the inspiration why I became a DJ, because Santi and Jesus, I remember they were playing, but when you got on, the crowd was just reacting to the way you were playing. I think the whole thing that I just saw, experienced there, man, it was just like the DJ bug bit me,
Yeah.
Just seeing all that night, and you, like I said, so that right there just kicked off the whole DJ thing for me. I remember telling my friend Paul and Chris, I'm like, man, I gotta learn how to do that. That's like so freaking awesome, Just seeing you and the guys, doing it. So next thing you know, I don't know if you remember, Paul actually bought the turntables from one of your friends, Richie, back in the day.
Okay.
If you remember Richie.
Wow. Yeah. Well,
He bought, yeah.
Oh, wow.
He used to live over there right off Broadway Avenue.
Yes.
Buddy Richie.
Yep.
He actually bought the 1200 from Richie, and that was it. After that, we just never looked back.
Wow.
We just started DJing over there. I remember going over the house like almost every single day, practicing with them.
Right.
And back then we used to DJ everything. House, freestyle, new wave. I started DJing everything.
Yeah.
And then everything, throughout time, I started, I concentrated on house for a while, because that was the big thing, And then after a while, I just started doing my own thing with the alternative music. I really got into I've always been more into the new wave from the 80s, the goth, industrial, all that kind of music. So I started concentrating more on that. And I started doing a gig here and there. And next thing you know, I started working in Hoboken.
What were some of the groups that drew you to that music? Like what groups inspired you to, go that route?
Back in the 80s, Depeche Mode was a big group back in the 80s. New Order, The Cure, Duran Duran, those kind of groups back in the 80s what I loved to listen to and play,
Right.
So then from the 90s came along, and that music was still big. There's some clubs here in Jersey that I used to go to.
Yeah.
QXDs was one of them.
Okay. Yeah.
I used to hang out there a lot all the time.
Yeah.
So then an opportunity opened up in Hoboken where a buddy of mine was doing rock at a bar over there. And he wanted me to come in and work one night, and I did. And the owners ended up liking me, so long story short, they ended up hiring me too.
Wow.
And it was Boo Boo's. I don't know if you remember Boo Boo's in Hoboken.
No, I've never been to Boo Boo's.
It was it used to be a funk jazz kind of bar.
Okay.
Right, like a block from the train station it was. And then some guys bought it, and they turned the whole thing into like back in the 90s with the grunge and all that.
Right.
So that's what we were doing over there, the grunge stuff. I did that from 93 up until 98. I used to do it with Paul, me and Paul.
Okay.
We used to do it together. Then Paul moved to Atlanta, and then I was just doing it alone by myself.
Okay.
Did that for 5 years. So I was out of the loop with all the house and all that. The 90s was basically not. I used to go and support other DJs, listen to the house and all that. But what I did mainly was just alternative.
Wow.
Mostly my whole life that's what I've liked, That's what I stuck to.
What were some of the DJs from that particular genre that were an inspiration to you? Did you have DJs in that genre, in that music that really inspired you? What was it like? Because it's new to me. Aside from listening to the groups, I've never really attended a club specifically for new wave or alternative or punk. So what were some guys out there that you were following back in those years?
See, back then when I started going to the clubs, it was QXDs was one of the clubs, as I mentioned before, in Newark. That was DJ back then was John Pinto, same Portuguese guy, John Pinto. He was the original DJ from QXDs. Then you had another club in what was that, Passaic, Loop Lounge.
Loop Lounge, okay.
His name was Ted something was the DJ's name. But as far as like DJs that I followed back then, I mean, it wasn't like house music. They had, like you guys, like you, Santi, Jesus, and you had Jones, and this and that.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that in that scene back then.
Oh, wow.
Well, not that I knew of at least.
Right. How about in the city? Did you get a chance to go into the city for the clubs there?
Yeah, in the city they had some guys. They had a guy back then who was still around, Ian Ford.
Ian Ford,
big name. In the scene, producer, DJ, real DJ. Another guy back then was Father Jeff, was his name.
Wow,
Father Jeff. In the city. Yeah,
okay.
And it was in the city back then. That was the only two guys that I remember from back then.
What was it about them that drew you to them? Was it their style of music? Was it the way they mixed?
Yeah, the music, and just the parties overall. Like Father Jeff used to do this party in the city. It was, if I remember correctly, it was right behind the Palladium, where the Palladium used to be.
Yeah.
Palladium.
Yeah.
It was right behind there. Huge, pretty big place. Big. I mean, back then the scene was so alive.
Of course. Yeah.
So alive.
Yeah.
The music was just amazing,
Right.
And just the scene was just so awesome.
Wow.
Those two guys back then. Those are the only two names that I really remember back then.
Right. And here in Jersey, what places were you doing more frequently?
As far as DJing, man, when I started, like I said, I would just, like, if you were playing somewhere, you'd tell me, hey, come by. I would come by. And then, you want to get on? Okay, I would get on.
Right.
But I never really...
You never chased to be in places.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I never went to a spot to try and get a gig or,
right.
I felt like I wasn't that good yet
Okay.
to do that, you know.
Okay.
And like I said, I was more into the alternative, so I was kind of trying to wait for something with the alternative.
Yeah.
You know? Like I did briefly. I did. I don't know if you remember in off of North Avenue in Elizabeth, CJ's.
CJ's. I know the name, but I've never been there.
Yeah, I did that briefly.
Okay.
You know, with the alternative.
Right.
You know, new wave and stuff.
Yep.
But it didn't work. You know, did it briefly a couple of times.
Well, you definitely have built the name for that, for being a DJ of the alternative, the new wave, especially here in the hometown of Elizabeth, New Jersey. The crowd that follows you knows what to expect musically, you know, new wave. But you and I had also spoken that it's good and it's bad, right? Because people then kind of just segregate you to one type of sound, and you're more than that. You're diverse in all the styles of music that we grew up with, right? From freestyle to house, even before that, reggae, you know, even some Latin stuff. So how does that feel, or how does that affect you when you do parties, when you're trying to move forward? How do you get off that specific title that people know you for? Does that frustrate you? Does that make things a little bit harder for you when you're trying to kind of tell somebody, well, yes, that is my core music, but I also play other things?
Yeah, it's very frustrating. See, what I like to do retro.
Yeah.
A lot of retro, a lot of 80s.
Yeah.
As I told you, I DJed in Hoboken in the 90s, so I like the 80s, 90s stuff, mostly the 80s stuff. That's what my love is in the 80s alternative, new wave, and all that. So I tried to get gigs with house music. I know someone who owns a place, and I reached out to him to see if I could do a night. I went in, I did a night with house. It didn't feel the same for me.
Okay.
It didn't feel the same. I love house. I love all kinds of genres of music. I can honestly say I'm one of those people.
Yep.
But when it comes to house, I have all classic stuff. I don't
Right.
do anything new. So
Yeah.
for me to get a gig in house is hard. And when I do it, I just don't feel the same. I don't
Right.
feel the love that I feel for the other music that I play. But I love house.
Right.
You know? But the love is different than the love I have for the alternatives.
Right.
You know, house will always be in me. I'll always want to do house.
Yeah.
I don't get a chance enough to do house.
Right.
And when I do, like I said, I go into it hyped up. You know,
Yeah.
I want to kill the night. I want to do well.
Yeah.
But then when I'm doing the night, I feel like I'm not in it like I usually am with other music.
Okay.
You know.
But you do. That's you do
I do it. Yeah.
put it as part of your set.
Yeah.
You do touch little bits of certain other type of genres.
Yeah.
80%, or I would say 90% of your stuff is alternative, but then that 10 to 15%, you know the music. You've been to the red zones, you've been to the clubs in New York City, you've collected all of that stuff. So you can and you do if needed. And I understand that you've created that name on the alternative stuff. So we're going into the years late 90s into the early 2000s. How active were you in DJing? How many places were you doing here in Elizabeth or anywhere during that period of time?
The 90s was, like I said, for me, the 90s, I was all over the place as far as going to clubs and bars. I would go to Loop Lounge, Aldo's, and QXC's in Newark, other places in the city sometimes. I'm sorry, man, can you repeat that?
No, like what other places were you playing here in the 90s
the
to
90s.
the 2000s? Yeah.
The 90s, like I said, was basically Hoboken.
Yeah.
Hoboken. Here, in the 90s here in Elizabeth, like I said, if you were doing a gig, you told me to come by, I would come by. You want to get on? I'll get on,
Yeah.
But I didn't do nothing in Elizabeth, like I say, in the 90s. The only thing I did in the 90s was basically Hoboken. From 93 to 98, 98, I came out of it. I'm like, all right, what's next?
Yeah.
So I started looking around, and in 2000, that's when Destino's Lounge opened up.
Okay.
You know, and the night before they opened, we had a little private party. It's like 10, 15 of us for a friend, you know. And my friend Henry ended up bartending that night. And then after that, he just ended up bartending, you know, when the place opened.
Right.
So I was always there hanging out. You know, it's a new spot in town. Everybody would come hang out.
Yep.
And, you know, the owner had a jukebox. He asked me one day, he's like, hey, you want to do a night? I'm like, sure, but let's do an 80s night, you know. So it all started there at Destino's in 2000. I started working there doing an 80s night, alternative night, Wednesday nights.
Okay.
That did well, you know. It picked up right away. Everybody, it was like a high school reunion. You know?
Yeah.
Everybody from Elizabeth was there, the old crowd. It was beautiful, you know, awesome. I couldn't believe it. And then I had a motorcycle accident, and I was out for a few months. And when I came back, it was just gone. Everybody was gone, and nobody was there.
Wow.
The night died, you know.
Okay.
Then I basically died. I came back, I tried to rebuild it, it wasn't the same.
Right.
It wasn't the same. So I was working at Destino's doing that. In 2000, I started there, and then I started doing other nights at Destino's also. I started doing house music.
Yeah.
Wednesday nights I was doing alternative, the 80s. Then Thursday, Friday, and Saturdays I was doing house music.
Wow. A busy schedule at Destino's. Okay. And did it come back up again? Were people coming back to Destino's?
Yeah, the house music started to pick up. It did well. But the 80s never picked up like it did.
Okay.
Never bounced back, you know. Didn't happen. But the 80s, I mean, the house music did. That worked perfect. I mean,
that's awesome.
It came, and everybody, like I said, the Wednesday nights died, but then we started doing the Fridays and Saturdays house. Everybody started coming back.
Wow.
It was a beautiful thing, right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Beautiful thing.
So, something happened to you after those years, if you don't mind sharing, which is kind of the point that we're getting here with your situation. What happened between that time that changed your life?
In 2002, I was attending classes at Union County in Cranford, and I started having problems with my right eye, my vision, my right eye. Long story short, I started having eyesight problems. My eyesight started to go in the right eye, and within a year, it basically went almost completely, and then it affected the left eye. So from 2002 till 2005, I was losing my eyesight.
You were losing your eyesight?
Losing my eyesight. I was in and out of treatment, in and out of the hospital with all kinds of treatments. Nothing worked, obviously.
Yeah.
And in May 2005, that was it. That was the last time that I saw.
You went completely blind in 2005, and you've been completely blind since then, right?
Yeah. It's I have an autoimmune disease called Devic's disease. Devic's. Okay, Devic's disease. It's very similar to MS.
Okay.
Very similar to MS. The same family, more or less, it's MS. But it's rare. It's a rare autoimmune disorder.
And it attacks your vision?
Yes, it attacks your vision, and it also attacks your spine. So it could, whatever with this disease, whatever happens. There's no going back. Usually when it shows itself, it's already too late.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So when this disease hits people, I've seen it all over, read up on it and everything. It's usually when it starts, it's already too late.
Wow.
When it shows itself, it's already too late. Because I had all kinds of treatments, nothing worked. Nothing.
So obviously such a big turn in your life to go from seeing everything, experiencing it, to now having to face the fact that you were going blind in one eye to completely blind in 2005. How did that affect you emotionally, and what did it do to your career as far as a DJ? Did you lose hope, and how did you get back into that passion to where you are now, being an active DJ and trying to spread the word of what it is that you have, and the cause and the love for the art of mixing?
See, it was, let's see, it's April, like I said, of 05 when it started. It was very hard, very hard. You can imagine, you know, something just happening to you.
Just a little
life-changing,
yeah.
you know. See, with the DJing, I honestly thought it was over. I thought that was it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to be able to DJ no more. How am I going to see what I'm doing? I can't see. How am I going to keep track of the music, this or that?
Yeah.
So, you know, I had a little boombox in my room, and I remember every morning I would wake up, eat my breakfast and stuff. I'd go to my room, hang out. I would just start going through my music, put CDs in the jukebox. And
just listening to songs,
yeah.
Listening to music.
Just listening to music in my room. Yeah. So I noticed that I knew, every time I would look at a CD, I knew exactly where it was at. Mm-hmm. Now I have a case with over 200 CDs in it.
Yeah.
You know, I have everything from jewel cases to sleeves.
Yeah.
So I'm like, something went off in my head. Like, wait.
This is from what you had when you were DJing, before you lost your sight.
Yes, exactly.
And you knew where everything was in that case after you lost your vision.
Basically.
Wow.
See,
okay.
The way it works is, I tell people, it's funny because when I could see all those CDs, I had everything written, typed up on a binder that I had.
Okay.
So I had CD number 1, all the tracks, CD number 2, all the tracks.
Yeah.
So literally every time, 9 out of 10 times that I would go look for a CD, shoot, like, looking through the binder, you know.
Yeah.
So I lose my eyesight, that binder is here now.
Wow. Yeah.
So like I said, I found myself in my room going through all this, knowing where it is. So I'm like, you know, the next day I called the owner, you know.
The owner
of the bar I worked at before, Destino's, in Elizabeth.
Yeah.
I was like, listen, I would like to come back to try it out. I think I could do it. You know, like, oh sure, come in, you know, this and that on Wednesday, you know, try it out. Yeah. He had hired another DJ to take over, you know, to do the night that I used to do the Wednesday night, it's 80s night.
Yeah.
So I came in, you know, I DJed with the DJ that was there, you know. I basically did it. I came in, I tagged up the mixture a little bit with some braille dots that I had, you know, and I managed to do it. You know, because I pictured everything. I mean, the setup at Destino's at the time had been the same since they had opened. For like 3 years, it had been the same.
Okay. So nothing changed?
Nothing changed. So I pictured all that in my head, and I'm like, okay, I know where this is.
Yeah, I remember where this was.
Yeah, it was just basically up and down.
Right.
You know, you had the mixer here, and then you had the rack mount CD players here.
Yeah.
So it's basically just put it in here, the mixer's here, that's it. Very simple. Yeah. You had the turntables on the side, which I didn't use.
Yeah.
You know, so I just put my CD case over here, just go through it. You know, if I'm gonna get this CD here, I'll get the one behind it, stand it up, so I know where to put the CD next. When I finish with it, I know it goes there. Yeah. You know, so I managed, you know, to do little things like that little thing. Like I thought, like how am I gonna know where I get a CD from?
Right.
And just one day, it just happened. I grabbed the CD, and put it like that sideways, and it stood there like that. And, oh wait, I could do that. That's how I could market now.
Right.
You know, so little things like that happening without me even noticing.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's, I guess I was, what's the word I'm looking for here? Oh my God, just went blank. It's like learning everything all over again.
Yeah.
It's like I tell people, you lose your eyesight, you learn how to do things in a different way.
Okay.
Like I could do the same thing you do.
Yeah.
But I may take a few minutes longer, do it a little different, but I can still do it.
Right.
You know? So I got to tell everybody, I could do a lot of things that you can, but I do them different.
Yes.
You know? So with DJing, it was like that. I had to find my own way on how to, you know, customize this or that.
Sure.
I organize my music in a certain way. I record CDs in a certain way. I use thin jewel cases, thick jewel cases, sleeves, and I organize things like that in a certain way that works for me.
Right.
You know, like a lot of DJs tell me, why don't you stop using CDs? Use Serato, the computer. Like, you know what? I used the controller before. It played CDs. I didn't like it. It was just too small. Everything is bunched up together.
Yeah.
So I tend to go with the units, the CD joints, the mixture. Everything's apart. You know, I'm more tactile.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
I like the whole.
The
whole feel. It feels like a turntable, sort of. You know.
Yeah.
You know, we're old school DJs, so we want the vibe.
You want that feel.
The tactile, you know?
So that night, after you finished, what did you feel? Did you have a sense of, oh wow, you know what, this is not bad, yeah, it's horrible that I can't see, but Did the passion come back at that moment?
I mean, the passion never left, man. I'll be honest with you. Never, I'll be doing this like you.
Yeah.
We'll be doing this until we die. You know? It's in me. It never left.
Right.
You know, it's the whole time that I'm sick and I'm in the hospital and out of the hospital. All I'm thinking is, how can I get back into the music?
Right.
You know, literally, it's in me. I love it. You know, it just moves me. It's what I love to do, and that's what I kept thinking. You know, it's like music. I want my music. I want to be able to DJ again. How am I going to do this? I'm going to do this. And like I said, I'm in my room doing that, and light bulb went in my head. So when I went to the casinos and I did that, you know, at the end of the night, the guys over there kind of like, you know, applaud me and they go.
And they knew at that night that you went blind.
Yeah.
That you were blind completely,
they
right?
already, yeah.
Wow.
Because I had been out of the picture for a while already. You know, I was 5 months in and out of the hospital.
Yeah.
So I started coming back around again, you know, after I got better.
So from that moment, I don't know if you remember what year that was that you went back.
2005.
2005. So from 2005 till now, you've been actively following the passion. Maybe not as busy as you would want to be because of the limitations, your health issues, places, right? Which, you know, it's my next point is, how do you make yourself go out there and try to get gigs? What motivates you to want to keep pushing and showcasing the passion that you have with your situation? And is there a community out there? Are you aware of other DJs that are visually impaired that are trying to make it out there? Does that have a community on its own? Are you aware of other DJs that are blind?
There's just trying to think of his name. There's one that I know. I've spoken to him personally over the phone. I met him over the phone through a fellow blind person that I met. He's from Belleville. His name is DJ Blind.
DJ Blind.
DJ Blind.
Okay.
If you look him up on YouTube, I'm sure he still has some of his mixes up on YouTube.
Okay.
DJ Blind. He actually uses a laptop. He uses a controller.
Wow.
And the Serato stem. He uses that.
So are there products out there that it's making DJing easier or geared towards someone that is blind that wants to continue with this? Or is this something that you wish companies would kind of help by making things a little bit, you know, easier? Like, you know, at least with books, right? There's books for the blind, you know. Is this something that you think about possibly?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's, see, with the controller, like we could use, blind people could use a Mac. Mac already comes with the voiceover on the Mac, so you could use it. But see, I haven't asked my friend this, but when we use the computer, we use the voiceover. So we listen, you know, to the laptop, to the computer talking. So I asked myself, how do you do that in the club scene where the music so loud that you can't hear that?
Right.
So that's something that I want to talk to him about, that I haven't talked to him about.
Right.
You know, eventually I would want to get into a controller.
Yeah.
You know, or at least Serato, so I don't have to carry CDs.
Yeah.
But it's just the whole part of learning the computer. You have to learn the computer in order to do that. And like I said, you're in a club, how are you going to hear the computer?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So I have to talk to him to see how he gets around that. But it's, I wish companies or company Serato would, you know, would do something to make it easier for us who are visually impaired. You know? How that is, I don't know. I don't know, I'm not, you know, into that, I don't know, but I wish.
Is there technology out there that's making your life a little bit easier? Is there stuff out there? Because I know you had to go through the whole learning curve, even using the phone, even using the internet. You know, I know you would get frustrated at times, you know, trying to just get things working. Well, you know, how difficult is that?
See, the technology is one of those things with us blind people. It's a love-hate relationship, we say.
Okay.
Because when everything works perfect, it's awesome. You
Right.
know? But we get stuck with something, we hate it. You know, so it's a lot of technology out there for the blind. There is a lot of technology. I mean, I've heard of some technology that I'm like, wow, that is crazy. I mean, they have something I was told is basically glasses, and these things could read a street name.
Oh wow.
You know, it can tell you things around you. You know,
Right.
I was always on YouTube, and I was like, wow, that is crazy. You know, it could
Yeah.
read paperwork to you. You know, they got so many stuff. Like for me, for example, using CDs, right?
Using
If I want
CDs.
to, if I want to keep track of my CDs,
Yeah.
they have the barcode scanners.
Oh wow.
You know, so you could buy a little sticker, put it on the CD, scan it, and then you can record whatever it is you wanted to say. If Depeche Mode, you scan it, you put Depeche Mode. Boom. So next time you come around, you scan that CD, it'll tell you Depeche Mode.
Wow. And how do you wait? Does that link to your phone or your computer? How does it read back to you? How does it tell you what it was?
It's the actual physical barcode scanner. So
Oh wow.
And you could actually use that with, for example, if you have a can of beans, let's say.
Yeah.
You scan it, and it's going to tell you what that is.
Wow. That's
On anything that has a barcode.
Right.
That has a barcode.
Wow.
And then they have another little thing like that I have. I haven't used it yet because I want to try and record everything downsized. I have a lot of stuff that I don't play anymore.
Right.
So I'm at that point right now where I'm trying to downsize, you know.
Yeah.
So once I get organized, I'm going to start using those little stickers. It's called the Magic Wand.
Wow.
It's a little, they're like the size of a fork or spoon.
Yeah.
You know, and you just, again, it's a little sticker. You put it on whatever you want to, it could be a CD or whatever.
Yeah.
You scan it, and then you record what you want it to say.
Yeah.
So when you come around, you scan it, it tells you what it is. So that's something that I have in the future to use, you know, to get more organized with music.
Yeah.
There's a lot of technology that, you know, with technology, it's a beautiful thing. It helps us. It's there for us, but it's just so expensive.
Expensive. Yeah.
Very expensive. I'll give you an example. I have a little planner, phone book kind of thing, you know, and I got this as a gift about 12 years ago, 13 years ago. When it came out, it was $600.
Oh wow.
It's just a little, you open it up, like the little makeup thing that women wear, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that, and it looks like a little keyboard.
Yeah.
All the keys, you know, letters,
Yeah.
numbers.
Yeah.
$600 or something.
Wow.
An iPhone is, I mean,
Yeah.
Mac is the way to go for us blind people with
Sure.
technology.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
If you don't want to use a Mac, you can use Windows, but you have to buy a program, which cost back then, I don't know, many years ago it cost $1,000. I don't know how much it is now.
Wow.
But it's, you know, it all comes down to being very pricey, very
Right.
expensive.
Wow.
The technology's there. I
Yeah.
mean, you got, this is a Braille watch that I have on.
Yeah.
The Braille watch. Right here, you got the minutes on the inside, it tells you.
Yeah.
You can see that right there. And on the outside is the hand.
Yeah.
It tells you the hour.
Wow.
So, but then they got the talking clocks, the watches.
Yeah.
It's a lot of technology. And every year new stuff comes out. And they come out with so much stuff. I can't even keep track anymore. You know? I try not to because, you know, you want it and
Yeah.
I want it, I need it. But
Right.
it's just so expensive. You know you're not going to get it. So I don't bother. I don't bother with it sometimes.
So we always talk about the industry, about things that are happening out there, a few topics we share. You know, we're kind of looking at things on the same platform from the same point of view about certain issues that, you know, are kind of reoccurring in the whole music industry. But what frustrates you right now? What are you hearing? What are some of the things that you yourself are experiencing just trying to get a gig?
That's the problem, just trying to get a gig. No, see, with me it's different than with you. See, with me, as soon as I walk into a place, they see the cane, they see the sunglasses, they see the blindness.
Yeah.
So immediately, it's enough. Immediately, what I've always gotten, not always, but a couple of times, you know, how do you know what people are getting into when you're DJing?
That's an interesting question. How do you know?
No, it's true. It's true. Look, I agree. When they ask that question, yeah, if I was there in their shoes, I would ask the same. You know.
Yeah.
But the way I tell them is like this: if you hire me to play house music, and you want classic house music, I'm going to give you the best classic house music that I have.
Right.
I know the music.
Yeah.
I know I could do it. Give me a chance, and you see that I could do it.
Yeah.
You know? And it's happened that way. Like, I work at a nightclub in Newark. It's called QXT's.
QXTs, yeah.
and that's those who may know, it's an alternative music nightclub.
Yeah.
And on Friday nights they do 80s music. So when I went to talk to the owner to see about getting a night there, that's always been my dream job as a DJ, QHDs, because it's the music I love.
Yep.
So finally I went to go talk to him, and he gave me a shot. He gave me a night. He was actually the bartender there. Him and his wife, her parents were the owners of the place, and him and his wife ended up buying the place from her parents, and now he's running the place. So him and his wife gave me a shot. I've been going there since I was 19 years old.
Wow.
So they kind of knew me from going there.
Yeah.
And then when I went, after I lost my eyesight, like I said, this is now about 7 or 8 years so that I've been there now. Working there now.
Yeah.
And it's very nice people. It's like, sure, give me a shot in one of the rooms downstairs in the basement. It didn't work. I was trying to do something a little different, alternative music, but something a little different that they don't play there.
Yeah.
But I guess the people didn't like it. It didn't work.
Yeah.
So it's like, look, we tried. It didn't work. But I'd like to keep you, if you don't mind. Oh yeah, sure. So I'm still there.
Wow, that's great.
I work about for now. I'm doing like once a month.
Okay.
Once a month. So hopefully hopefully that would change in the future.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm also open to doing other nights. Anywhere. I'm actually right now, like I said, I'm working on recording some music, some stuff that I bought on the internet.
Right.
A buddy of mine is helping me to record that. Once I get that done, I'm gonna do a mix, rock mix, and I want to take it to this place in Garwood.
Okay.
That I'm looking to do a night over there, Crossroads.
Okay.
In Garwood. And I do a rock night. I used to do it in the 90s back in Hoboken, the rock stuff. So I love rock,
Right.
So I want to do something like that.
That's awesome. So feeling discouraged when you do go to a place and they see, like you said, someone with a cane, someone who can't see, and they start asking you questions. I mean, besides asking them, give me a chance, let my work speak for itself, how do you overcome? How do you keep going? What keeps motivating you? Because, we're always kind of talking and you're always having ideas. Hey, I just thought about maybe doing this, hey, I thought about doing that. And I know that a lot of people, gear you towards, you need to have that social media footprint. Are you on YouTube? Do you have to sell yourself also? Do you think using your situation, I'm sorry to say it that way, but being, visually impaired, can you make that something to work for you if you did have the right tools? Do you think putting yourself out on YouTube, do you think making a video, do you think, just selling what you have is something that could help you?
It's something that I've thought about, doing. Like, I definitely want to put my mixes and stuff up on YouTube. But I answer you like this. My buddy, fellow blind DJ from Belleville that I told you, DJ Blind.
Yep.
He was DJing at the cruise liners.
Cruise liners. Oh, wow.
He was doing that. I don't know if he still is. He might be doing it. I haven't spoken to him in a while.
Yeah.
But as soon as he put up mixes on YouTube, I mean, the guy is good. Good DJ. He does a lot of Latin stuff, like salsa, stuff like that. His mixes are flawless.
Yeah.
The ones that I've heard on YouTube, flawless. But then I'm looking at his channel. He's not really getting like many hits, on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's on YouTube. I mean, this is worldwide. Everybody could view this.
Yeah.
I mean, why is the guy not getting more hits? The guy is a good DJ.
Yeah.
He's blind.
Yeah.
Me personally, if I wasn't blind, I'm like, hey,
Because I'm sure you get that, right? When you play, and then people are like, they go up to the booth, and you're like, oh my God, you're so good, without realizing that you're visually impaired, that you're totally blind. And then once they find out, it's almost like, oh my God, how is he doing that, right? So it's that moment of amazement, like, what? There's what? Because even sometimes, your core friends, we talk and we're like, wow, it's admirable that you know what you're doing. You still sound great, you know how to get around, how do you do it? So to me, that's like anybody could say that's a selling point that I can use to get gigs, right? But back to your question is, how is my friend who is, active and has a YouTube channel not getting a lot of numbers? Having a YouTube channel such as this, it's not as easy as everybody thinks. And I think that the people that are getting the 100,000s, the millions views, there's an actual team of people working behind the scenes to take this video and feed it through all of the other social media channels, right? Because hashtag is a different world altogether. The way these videos and the way you gotta tag them to draw that, hashtags, all of that stuff, those are all like, algorithms that allow you to kind of get pinned or picked up based on the search. I'm still learning, Rob, and yes, I'm grateful for the viewers because I'm finally seeing 1,000 views. To me, that's huge. 3,000 views is huge, but compared to someone who releases something right away and it's like 600,000 views, I'm like, how in the hell in the world do you do it? So I can understand that that's being a frustration, but someone always told me just gotta keep going. Eventually the numbers will get there, because this is something that we're doing on our own, Rob. And I know that's part of your frustration too, is when you're going out there and people are not coming out, or the support thing, which is something else that we talk about. I know that's discouraging, but you are pushing yourself to stay busy. And what I like is the fact that you're always trying to think outside the box on how you can make awareness. And that's part of this video. Is you're currently doing something now in Red Bank, right? Where, tell me a little bit about that event that you just had and what it's for, and how are you reaching out to other organizations to just help build, the understanding of your situation, and maybe a fundraiser to just keep your passion going. What is it that you're currently doing now?
Well, as you said, I did in April. I put a fundraiser together with a couple of friends for it's New Jersey Blind Citizens Association.
New Jersey Blind Citizens Association. Okay.
They're located in Leonardo, New Jersey.
Okay.
And I was searching around to give back to my blind community somehow.
Okay.
And a buddy of mine came across, he did some search and he came across this association. Mm-hmm. I came across another one, a school for the blind.
Okay.
In Jersey City, it's for blind kids. But for some reason, this one, I was like, let me call these people first. They're like an association, not a school. Let me call them first.
Yeah.
I called them. I spoke to the director, beautiful lady by the name of Sarah. And the more I spoke to her, man, the more I wanted to do this for her.
Okay.
Like I said, I wanted to do something to give back to the community.
Yeah.
So like, my friend Sergio, a buddy of mine, Sergio from high school, is a member of the Elks Club over there in Red Bank, with another friend of ours, Tom.
Okay.
And they actually came to listen to me at a barbershop a friend of mine had. You and I were doing together.
Yep. Leo's
Cristal's barbershop. Yep. And after they came and heard me, they went back to the Elks Club trying to think of what to do over there, what we could do. So long story short, last year we did a barbecue for my birthday.
Yeah.
This year we're going to do it again, September 16th. It's an annual thing we're having now at the Elks Club in Red Bank.
Yeah.
But the association was something that, like I said, I wanted to give back. So I did a fundraiser for them. We put something together over there at the Elks Club in April. I did a fundraiser for them.
Yeah.
It was our first. It was not bad.
Yeah.
We had about 100 people that showed up together, DJ Jones actually did it with me.
Yeah.
John Pasco actually helped with the sound, lights, and everything.
Yeah.
So it was a beautiful thing. I'm trying to use my DJing, I guess, to try and bring people together. It's just the whole thing with the music, the classic music. I just love it, man. I love doing something to give back somehow, which is where I'm at now. This is what I want to do now. I don't want to just do a party just for the heck of it, just for people to come out.
Yeah.
I want to do something with a cause behind it.
Right.
So basically now at the Elks Club, I have that platform. I'm actually going to become a member of the Elks Club over there. So like that I could get more involved and try to do more events. You know, fundraising, which like I said is something I want to do.
Yeah.
You know, they have a lot of in-house stuff that you could do over there with fundraising, which they do a lot. So hopefully I could, you know, be like the resident DJ, so to speak, over there at the Elks Club.
What does the organization actually do, Rob? Do you know? Like,
The Elks Club?
no, the Blind Association.
The Blind Association, I'm going to become a member.
Yeah.
I'm still having some things I have to do before that, but you know, some of the things she told me that they do over there, it's, they have like, she just took over like a year ago, I think.
Yeah.
The director, Sarah.
Yeah.
So she's trying to build up and do, because in the past, it kind of went away, they didn't have any funds available and all that. So then that's when she came in.
Right.
And she's taking over now and trying to do things. She's trying to do stuff like teach computer classes.
Okay.
You know, stuff like that over there. I mean, there's more stuff she told me, but honestly, I can't remember right now.
No problem. So it is an organization to help out your fellow associates, right? And blind individuals with some courses, some awareness, and you want to become kind of like one of the I guess entertainment lead associates, which is why you're doing these events in Red Bank at the Elks, just to bring awareness and to give back to that community. What are some things that you're looking to gain out of this? Like, what is your message to the people to kind of come out and support, or just to be aware that, you know, just because you have limits in your life, you shouldn't really give up. You should follow your passion and to keep moving forward, because I know that you are an inspiration to a lot of the people, a lot of the friends that you grew up with, a lot of the DJ friends. You know, we do admire you. We cheer for you. We know we have it tough with all of the nonsense that happens out there just trying to get a gig. So I know it's even more difficult for you to do that, but you know, I just want to take this time to really send the message. So if you can remind people again, when is your next event? How can they get that information? I know you sold tickets last time, but is there a contact that they can reach out? Either your information or Sergio's information for whatever events. If someone's viewing this and they're interested in hiring you for their event, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, basically, I have a Facebook page. You can look me up, Robert DJ Blindvision Gonzalez on Facebook.
Yep.
I think I may have an Instagram page. Because I think my buddy helped me to open one up to promote the fundraiser that we did.
Okay.
So I think I may still have it up. I got to check. Make sure that I put the link on YouTube.
So you are on Facebook?
Yeah, Facebook.
Okay. That was. Give me the name again.
Robert DJ Blindvision Gonzalez.
Okay. Robert DJ Blindvision Gonzalez on Facebook.
And usually that's where I post all my events when I'm doing. Like I said, the next one I'm doing is the barbecue, annual birthday barbecue at the Elks in Red Bank. Okay. That's going to be September 16th, and we're going to do like last year. We're going to make an event flyer, and we're going to put up it up on Facebook.
Okay.
On Facebook. That's what we usually promote it on Facebook.
Okay, and I mean, from what I heard, the people that attended, it was a nice buzz. I think everyone enjoyed the music. They liked the place.
We had about 200 people. Well, for the barbecue?
Yeah, for your last party.
Oh, the last party.
Yeah, so there was a nice people.
Yeah, it was pretty nice.
The barbecue, you had more people.
Yeah, the barbecue last year, we had about 200, I believe.
Okay.
It was about 200 people. You know, we had hot dogs, burgers, sausage and peppers, stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
It's a nice spot. This Red Bank is actually right next to a river.
Okay.
In Red Banks. So, you know, when you do it outdoors, they have like a nice outdoors backyard, really big, right next to the river, you know. really nice also.
You know, once again, I want to thank you, Rob, for just taking the time out. I'll repeat myself. You know, you're an inspiration to a lot of us. Love the fact that you keep going, you know, with your situation. I know it gets tougher some days more than others. And that also plays into doing gigs. You know, you might be gung-ho on Monday, but depending how you feel towards the end of the week, your body, your situation may not allow you to do it. But
that's the hard part now.
of course,
See, I can't. See, like I tell people, if I get 2 nights a month, I'm happy.
yeah,
I would love to do every week,
yeah,
but
that's too much.
for me, it might be too much. I don't want to see like.
Okay, I won't say hello yet.
I don't want to say where, but I may have something lined up, a brunch every Sunday.
Yeah,
That's a little different,
Yeah.
because that's during the day.
Yeah.
It's not nighttime.
Yeah.
You know, so it's daytime. It will be from 11 to 4.
Yeah.
You know, if it does happen, you know, everybody will find out on my Facebook page.
That's
you
right.
know, so come out for that and
Yeah.
support.
yeah,
But yeah, if I get something twice a month, I'm happy.
that's awesome.
3 times a month, 4 times a month would be great. The money's it's awesome if I can have it, but you know, my
Yeah.
health doesn't allow me. I can only do what my health allows me to do.
That's right. So
Like you
don't.
said, sometimes I may feel okay, sometimes I don't.
Yeah, I know. But you know, don't forget, you can reach Rob through his Facebook page, Robert DJ Blindvision Gonzalez. He's got a nice fundraiser coming up in September. If you want more information, I'm sure you'll see the flyer on social media. So Rob, once again, thank you so much. Keep doing what you're doing. You are an inspiration to a lot of us.
Thank you, brother.
And
You keep doing what you're doing. Awesome, brother.
thank you.
Thank you, man.
And to all my viewers, thank you once again for viewing the content. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, give it a thumbs up, and leave your comments. Till next time, have a blessed night.